Hello beautiful people and welcome back. If you are new here, hi, I'm Kelly. I'm Momra of the Living It Truth family. We haven't caught up for a while. I thought it was time to have a catch up. A lot of you had reached out saying that you hadn't seen us for a while. I know it hasn't been missed. We had this massive break, and when we have come back, it hasn't been with the usual vigour. So firstly, I want to say thank you to everybody who reached out. It has made a big difference, and I'll get onto that in a minute. We did disappear for a little bit. We were finding it really hard. The household was not running how we needed it to. There's been illnesses, there's been flare-ups, autism and puberty hit, and wow, that's been hard to adjust to. You know, we have teenagers, and that's been really hard. You know, at the beginning of the year, I had a cancer scare, and that was hard to adjust to. Thankfully, everything came out okay, but that was a couple of months of uncertainty. So that was pretty hard going, and we really just needed a break, so we took it. But you guys really reached out, and we are so thankful for that, and ultimately that is what brought us back. We had messages of, where are you? When's the next video coming out? Are you all okay? I'm worried. And that's what brought us back, you guys reaching out. We realised we had the community that I didn't think we had. You know, when we started this channel, it's because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted people to not feel alone like I did when we had the kids' diagnoses, because I really felt alone. And I didn't want other people to feel that way. I didn't want anybody else to feel like they were alone in this. And I didn't feel that I was reaching people. And then people started reaching out, and I realised that actually we were. And it doesn't matter whether it's 1 million people or one. If we're reaching that one person that doesn't feel like they're on their own, that is enough for us. It's enough. And then the ultimate change came when we met some viewers of ours on a holiday, and we bumped into them on Butlins. And if you guys are watching, you know exactly who you are. And they're like, you know, it's wonderful to meet you, you know, you're so lovely. Why have the videos stopped? And we explained it to them. They're like, oh, absolutely, you know, you need to take the break, you need to do what's right for you. And we came away and we're like, you know, there are people that are missing our videos, and it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2. That is enough. And actually we started posting that weekend again. We haven't managed to post as much as we'd like. That is about to change. We are going to be posting a lot more, hopefully really soon. And there will be more videos up and coming about that and changes that we're making to the channel. And there are a lot of changes coming up. And I'm explaining in this video what those changes are. So a little bit of backstory as to why we are having to make these changes. As you know, if you've been here before, and if you haven't, quick update for you. We are a neurodiverse, chronically ill, disabled family. So we have autism and ADHD in the family. The children and myself are ADHD and autistic. I have chronic illnesses. I have hypermobility syndrome and fibromyalgia. Riley has, we don't know yet, he's not officially diagnosed, but somewhere between hypermobility syndrome and EDS. And we're both part-time wheelchair users. Richard has a really rare condition. He was a perfectly healthy one. And then he contracted COVID in 2022, I think it was. Maybe 2021. Somewhere around there. And he got a condition called yellow nail syndrome, which doesn't sound very scary, does it? But essentially what it means is his entire body floods with fluid. And for him, that specifically is on his lungs. So if you watch any of our videos, you will hear him coughing a lot in the background, because it causes a chronic cough with him and a build-up of fluid in his lungs. So essentially he's drowning. Up to this point we pushed through, but that has been deteriorating. And we are having to move to a much slower paced life because of this. Our life is changing quite dramatically at the moment, and it is becoming a lot harder. So slower paced life, much more frugal living, because we're not sure what our future holds right now. I have the chronic illnesses, Riley has chronic illnesses, and we're neurodivergent. So we need to stop rushing around and start developing a much more slower paced way of life, and then a much more frugal living, because we're not sure on our income streams for much longer, really. We're not sure on work and stuff. That is very much looking like it's changing. So a different way of life is looking like it's going to be our future. At the moment, Rich has just been signed off work sick. We're hoping it's not long term, and we're hoping that after a little bit of rest he can go back. He's been battling this now for 4 years, and he's continued to work full time throughout, but it reached a point where he really needs a rest. Excuse the noise, we are on a main road here, so you'll hear a lot of traffic and you might hear a lot of emergency vehicles. Excuse me. So we're hoping that he can go back to work after a little bit of rest, but right now we're just really unsure. So hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's the situation we are in. And I'm not telling you any of this for sympathy or the woes with me or anything. I'm just letting you know where we've been and what we've been dealing with, and actually how that's shaping the channel in the future, which is where we're going to get on to now, because it's not all about the woes. We are trying to adjust and show you the positives, because we are moving into the positives now. We're going to see what we can make of this, so let's get on to the positives. One of the things we did do while we were away from YouTube was we started discussing and reassessing as a family what we actually wanted to do with the channel if we were to come back. And we'd realised we'd fallen into the trap of holiday channel, which is never what we wanted to become. We're not playing with the big boys. We were never going to be a holiday channel. The whole concept was always autism, everyday life, chronic illnesses, and making memories. And we've really got stuck in the making memories part, which, don't get me wrong, is wonderful, but it's not what we were all about. We really wanted the everyday living bit and making memories, and we've ignored the everyday living bit. We've had several viewers reach out and say that they would like much more of the everyday living bit and seeing our everyday life. So that's what we're going to focus more on. Is the everyday living bit, who we are, what we get up to, the challenges we face, how we overcome them, just who we are and what we get up to, really. The intention now is to go with autism, chronic illnesses, and making memories. That's where we're shaping the channel to, because that's who we are and that's what we are dealing with. A little bit of frugality, a little bit of slow living, just who we are. That's where the channel is shaping up. There's going to be more videos coming, so Saturdays we are going to keep as our making memory day. So holidays and days out, that's going to stay on a Saturday for now. Probably much less of the bigger holidays like Florida and Disney cruises, because we're probably not going to be able to be affording those, certainly not every year or several times a year. That's going to be more once every couple of years maybe, if we're lucky. But for those of you who love it, there's going to be a lot more Butlins holiday, because it's where my children feel safe, and obviously out of school term, in school term, that's a lot more frugal for us, and my children are home educated, so we're very fortunate that we can go while the kids are in school, and it's a lot cheaper. And then we're going to do Wednesdays, I believe it's going to be Wednesdays, where it's our everyday living stuff, so just us getting on with everyday lives, so stuff on home education, maybe some grocery hauls if you're interested, certainly based around autistic grocery hauls. We have set meals, but we have to adjust them. There's a lot of things that Riley doesn't eat. He's a very selective eater, so we have to adjust for those things. Things like week in the lives, days in the life, how we are moving to a slower paced life. I grew up in Birmingham. I'm not used to a slower paced life. I'm used to things moving very quickly. So slowing things down, especially as an ADHDer, is really hard for me. But we're having to. We have no choice. For our health, we are having to slow down. So we're having to adjust to this. So just videos on that. That's what the Wednesdays are going to be. And then if we can, we may even put some bonus videos throughout the week as well. As I said, we're really trying to make a push of it, make a go of it, see what we can do. So in a nutshell, the Wednesdays are going to be about just getting to know us a little bit more in depth, the ups, the downs, any tips and tricks we might have, things like that. So if there's anything you want to see, know about us, have us do, not have us do per se, but any videos you'd like to see, just let us know in the comments and we can certainly see what we can do. That's the plan. That's what we're aiming for here. Again, we cannot express the gratitude that we have for the kindness and support you guys all showed when we really needed it. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, we would really appreciate a subscribe. It makes a huge difference to a small channel like ourselves. Remember guys, you don't have to take away someone else's joy to find your own. Have a great day, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye guys. Wait. Wait. Quiet. Quiet. You do not have to bark back. You do not have to bark back. Good girl. Just because they are yobs doesn't make you one. Shush. Good girl.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby.